Oh, hi. Just in time. My subway's getting here soon. Sorry about that, I was just listening to some music, killing a little bit of time before I go on my trip. Here we're at York University subway station, where students, professors, people that live in the North York area are taking the subway to get to their obligations and go back home. In these busy lifestyles, we require our digital devices to use and coordinate in our lives. But how do people use their digital devices while they're on the subway? And how do they use it when there's no Wi-Fi service, especially? Well, we're going to find out and see how these implications and insights relates to marketing. Come follow me.
The effectiveness of public transit ads is dependent on multiple environmental factors that influence our mood and behavior. Some environmental factors that can influence our mood and behavior include time of day, whether or not it's rush hour, whether or not you have a seat on the train, the temperature on the train, and how many people are on the train. Further, our behavior is often influenced by factors such as isolation, annoyance, boredom, lack of connectivity. All of these factors together can motivate us to attempt to remain productive or useful with our subway commute. Another interesting finding that came out from our research was the segmentation of males versus females. It was interesting to see that female commuters were often much more obsessed with remaining plugged in. They didn't want to view the subway commute as a time to be unplugged, escape from the world, but they truly wanted to stay connected to all of their productive activities such as working, learning something new, reading a book, and so on.
Also, inconsistent connectivity leads to heightened frustration for productive commuters.
On the other hand, our male counterparts were a little bit more concerned with using this time as a way to escape the world, a time to be unplugged. As such, they would engage in activities like listening to music and playing games on their devices. Other males would engage in activities such as people watching, for example, where they would choose to just unplug altogether. Now, depending on whether or not we view our subway commute as a time to be unplugged or a time to remain productive has a direct impact on our mood. And the way we feel during our subway commute has a direct impact on the way we consume the advertisements around us. Now, whether or not we view our subway commute as a time to be unplugged or a time to remain productive, we still want to engage in activities. Normally, there's nothing else to do but look at advertisements. Our research shows that these mood influences on the subway often lead to heightened emotions. These heightened emotions often motivate us to want to interact and engage with the stimuli around us. It comes to no surprise then that the advertisements that seem to be the most successful on public transit are the ones that deeply engage and interact with consumers, often mimicking the activities that people already engage in on their digital devices. This can include activities such as playing games, reading new information, solving puzzles, or just purely for entertainment purposes. On the subway, there was truly no short supply of advertisements. It's almost impossible to find anywhere to look where an advertisement is not smack in your face. So awareness is clearly no issue for marketers. All of the environmental factors that are present on the subway influence how people during their commute ultimately engage and resonate with the advertisements in front of them.
Now let's look at some comments that some riders on the subway had in regards to advertisements. It is so boring on the subway when there is no internet connection or service. I usually look around in the subway car and see advertisements.
It was less crowded. I was more observant of the advertisements.
I think it's because the way our heads start pivoting down or up, and the way that the TTC can sell more advertising to say people actually read them, and guess what they do? I read them, because I have nothing else to do. How many times have you read the shampoo bottle instructions when you're in the shower, or when you're in the toilet? You just want to read things. Spend your time reading something, you don't have your phone. If your phone's not with you, at least me, I don't know, I need to read something. So why do I do it? Because I need to do something with my time. The Wi-Fi isn't there. It's crazy, it's scary, and it works. It works.
I never really went on any sort of device, so looking around was definitely what I would do, between looking at advertisements and people watching.
I try not to get distracted, and advertisements are definitely distracting because I would just read them.
It has occurred to me to see something on the ads that reminds me that I needed something, but then I didn't have Wi-Fi or a signal to just go online to check in. So I was like, I'll just do it when I go home. I didn't necessarily make the purchase in the subway, but triggered the purchase in the subway through the ad.
This interactive ad is fitted with sensors that can sense when trains are approaching on either side of it. When the train passes by, the ad image turns into a woman with her hair flowing in the wind, whipped by the train. The ad is incredibly simple, but having that interactive aspect, especially in relation to what is going on around it, is key.
Pepsi takes care of those who are bored in the subway by installing music players in their interactive posters.
Hold a handrail and try on a watch. It's that easy.
Purell takes care of passengers on the subway by installing blocks of disposable covers on its handrails.
Interactive ads are much more likely to hold the attention of passengers than their static counterparts. Making an initial connection with the customer is a key component to successful modern marketing.
Oh hey, it's you again. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? The way our digital devices have evolved our lifestyles to where we truly need them and use them in our everyday lives. What does this mean for marketers? Well, when we mimic how digital devices are used for consumers all around, they're able to add interactive advertisements that truly engage the customer and mimic these digital devices while on the subway. So what does this mean for marketers? The subway is a good opportunity to put your ads as long as they're engaging and they interact with the customer so that they can avoid boredom, stress, and any other emotion that ties into how they want to interact with other people and on their devices. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta catch a train to Consumer Insights.